Welcome to 3 on the Ones and Twos with your hosts, Tom, Cassie, and James. Just 3 old friends talking about their favorite records. Think of it as the coolest book club for music nerds.
How's everyone doing today?
Awesome.
I'm
Pretty
super
good.
excited
Yes.
to do some of my favorite things in the world, which is hang out with beautiful people, friends, have a few drinks, and discuss music. Today, so grateful and excited to have this guest, an old friend of mine, old friend of yours. And I was joking around earlier with Cassie, saying if anyone asked me, yo, you have beef? You got beef with Anna? They're like, what? You know, you got a problem with Anna? I say, yes, I do. My only problem is I don't see her enough. I'm a huge fan of this person as a musician, songwriter, incredulous guitar player. My goodness.
You're gonna make me blush.
And just human being. We're here to stroke your ego.
Oh shit.
Miss Anna Kramer. I'm gonna let James say a few words.
Thank you.
Just a big fan. Thank you for joining us.
Thank
Let
you for
James say
having
a few
me.
words. Cheers.
I'm a fan of everybody here. I've just met you and I'm already a fan of you.
she is the best.
That was
Cheers,
easy.
cheers.
Took not even 1 second. So
Yeah.
cheers.
All right. So, what do you want to say, James?
Well, Casey and I were joking earlier today because we were like, Anna's just the coolest with the guitar. Like
She
the
is.
guitar. See, we're all big guys, so we have these like guitars and they all look small on us.
Yes.
And Anna's got this like Les Paul and it just looks so badass.
It looks like a hollow
you know?
body
It's like,
on me.
and we're all like,
She's soloing on a refrigerator.
right. We're, you
A
know,
circular refrigerator.
we're like, can we make the guitar look better on us? But maybe because she looks really cool with it. But
Well, I like that. I do think the opposite, so that's nice to hear. Thank you. Thanks.
well, the whole idea with this episode is that there's a band we really wanted to talk about, and sort of hitting all the the high notes here.
No
I
worries.
just ruined my whole box
No
set.
worries.
But anyway, here's the band.
We'll be in there.
Just
but
kidding. That's
but
what
we
happens
thought
when you drink
about
in the day.
okay, we have to talk about this, and we really want to talk to Anna about this. And I hate to like mandate bands or records. I hate to say like I have this great idea in my head, but I thought, well, Anna's the person we need to talk to.
But you're such a good
about this.
curator, so you match the artist
Yeah.
with the
I know,
band
I just-
so well.
And you did.
Yeah.
Because
You completely nailed it.
But the question is so we all agreed on the band, but then it was like, well, which album?
Yeah.
Was
Right,
the question.
right, good
Yeah.
point.
And you
And
Yeah, I
which
didn't
the
even,
album,
I
and
actually
it's
didn't
like-
even think twice
Yes.
about
yeah.
it. Like,
And
what was
which
that?
album is it?
So that's I'm
It's
not
all
gonna
over the
drop
place.
it.
Don't
Not
worry.
gonna drop
We're gonna.
it.
It's
Although
fine.
we've
We're gonna
revealed
cleaned
some
up.
very cool stuff over here. But
Yeah.
So
I'll be
the
looking
album,
at
if
that.
everybody wants to hold them up, is Faces. Everyone, a nod is as good as a wink.
Wonderful.
I will
yes.
not do a fake
Everyone's
accent.
doing it, and now everyone switches over
To a blind horse.
we got 4 copies here. It's the
We
first
do.
time that's ever happened.
Which-
Super nerdy.
which at some point we do
We
need
love
to talk
nerdy,
about,
by the way.
like what it means. Just mention like what the whole thing.
Yes,
Because I think
we
it's,
want to
like,
get
kinda
into
cute.
all of it.
Oh, the actual phrase?
Yeah,
I
'cause it's
did look that up. I believe
Yeah.
it's Cockney.
it is Cockney, and
Yes.
it pretty much, which is weird, but it pretty much means like. If somebody kind of knows what you're talking about,
Oh,
then
yeah.
it's kind of like you
Not as
might
good as
know
a-
what I'm
yeah,
talking
not as-
about.
Yeah, it's
not as
already
good
a
as a
given
wink.
kind of,
Yeah,
but
like you
Yeah,
kind of
it
already
goes,
without
know.
saying
goes
it.
without
Yeah.
saying. Yeah.
yeah, it goes without
Kind
saying.
of.
So, deja vu. I feel like we did this
I
once before.
think we might have.
Come here. It's so good to
Cheers.
see you, James. I have to say, beautiful things happen. I'm a big fan of Pretty Accidents. Cassie and I
Yes.
together forever. And I'm just a big fan of. James and I have known each other forever, and I just love getting close to people. So one of my favorite things about the show is that James has become one of my best friends.
That's going
And
to
it's
make me
so
tear
awesome.
up. I love
Anna's
that.
gonna become one of mine.
There you go.
Anna's
Here we
gonna-
go.
So,
Cheers. I love
so
this.
anyway, so
Holy
I'm joking
shit.
about the deja vu thing, but can I ask you, so like where you are as a human, as a girl, like as an artist, but
Nice.
were you an artist
Yep.
yet? That's where I'm going with the question.
Right on.
Like when you discovered the band, and was it right away, like that you said, this is it? Or you're like, I like it, and then 3 years later, like you revisit, and you're like, oh my goodness, this thing does it for me.
Yeah. Well, yes. I believe I've just thinking about it that I was in high school when I pretty much first really listened to them. I mean, of course, you hear "Stay with Me," you hear
Right.
"Rod Stewart," like you hear the hits, but as far as like Oh, there's a whole album of this that I
Right.
can listen to.
Did you have friends or like family? Like what?
This would be an album that like your parents would have if you had super cool parents.
If you had cool
They
parents.
are super cool, but they did
They're not that
have
cool.
this.
Well, yeah, because
my
it's
they're
parents-
pretty darn cool.
My parents were
but in a
listening to
different
like
way.
the
But
Beatles
it's
and the
like
Kinks and Frank
Beatles.
Sinatra, but not
Yeah.
that cool.
to listen
not faces.
to listen to something from from the early 70s, 71.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, in high school.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
what turned you on to?
Yeah, so Rockin' Bones, the band from Atlanta
Mm-hmm.
from in the 80s, I was friends with John and Dave.
Which that right there is
and Audrey.
is better than any college.
Exactly.
Like that's like
so
learning shit from the
all
streets and
kinda,
music.
and my
yeah.
friend Rachel too. So we all definitely listened to the Faces a lot during that time, and I was getting to be a senior, I think, maybe
That's so cool.
in high
It
school.
is.
So you're
I wasn't
driving
listening to
around.
anything like
Yeah.
old school and cool, like because it's come back. A lot of people, a lot of younger people are listening to like music from the 70s, but like back in like
No, you're absolutely
that
right.
time when in high school it wasn't.
Because
I
you
mean,
and
it
I,
just shows how badass
because you and
are.
I, you and
That
I,
it was
you and I
like
have,
you're like
you and I have
stars.
such
very
very
similar
similar
taste.
tastes.
Yeah,
Even
yeah.
before we met, like we
Yeah.
met, we discovered that.
Yeah, like earlier you were saying like
yeah.
Depeche Mode and stuff.
Yeah.
And so I was
Yeah.
saying Duran Duran, I was a huge fan.
Love Duran
I was
Duran.
Which my Stones friends were like, "What is wrong with you?" And I'm like, "I like them too. Leave me
Hey,
alone."
music is music,
I
and
think
good
John
music is
Taylor's
good
cute.
music.
Leave me
Yeah.
alone.
Oh my
But
gosh, he was mine too.
He was pretty.
I was
damn
gonna
cute.
marry him.
Anyway, I thought I was too, and then I realized I was dressing like him, so he probably wouldn't be attracted
Be
to
like,
a 13-year-old that was dressing like him. But as
Hopefully,
far
he
as
wouldn't be attracted to a 13-year-old.
So, but so you
well,
mentioned
yeah,
that.
hopefully
So
not.
let's say your cool parents.
Yeah, very
Let's talk
cool.
about your cool parents real quick.
Yeah,
okay?
they're-
So they listen to the Stones.
So they were more like Beatles, classical, and jazz,
Right.
and are both musicians. So
Oh, wonderful! I did not know that.
Stones, of course, but not like that. That was my babysitter.
But somehow
Who brought
there's
the
like a
Stones
family tree
over.
with
Okay.
Ronnie Wood is
Yeah.
what I'm kind of
So,
getting
well,
to.
Yes.
So you had a babysitter that kind of, because I think honestly a lot of times it's sometimes our parents, but it's usually like an older sibling.
Exactly.
Or like
He
a
was like
friend
the
always
or like a
somebody.
babysitter,
Yeah.
somebody that
he was
turns
like
you on
our
to things.
older
That-
sibling, yeah. Because
Okay.
my brother, I was 8, my brother was probably 6,
Yeah.
and my parents already had Stones album. I mean, already
Yeah.
had Beatles albums. So he would pull those out
Right.
and play them for us. And I think my parents had already sort of gone through
So
their
it's the
phase,
babysitter
so we didn't really
or
have
the,
that.
the family. Like my
Yeah.
older brother, I remember his,
And then they
his
brought
band
Stones.
like doing weird covers of Rocky Raccoon. And doing
Nice.
doing
Well, you know, my
covers
mom
of
loves
like
the
of like
Beatles.
you know
Like, I grew up
who's
with, like-
doing weird songs of Who's Next.
Yeah, you'll never
You know,
forget
from
that.
my older brother.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
that's
it's
cool.
sad. I don't even talk to him anymore. You know, and I want to
Yeah.
be like, thank you for doing that.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, for
and like
helping
you know,
you, like,
yeah,
yeah.
like
Yeah.
and I remember him playing Rocky Raccoon at a party in Queens, New York, with his friends.
Nice.
And I'm like, what is this?
Yeah, that's
You know?
that's
Yeah.
amazing.
You know, and it was just this weird thing, you know, but I'm grateful for that. And great memories are wonderful.
Yeah.
You know, it's like amazing.
Everybody has.
Also where it takes you.
Yeah, everybody
Yeah.
has like a sibling or a babysitter. I had a babysitter because I'm an only child, so
Yeah.
I didn't have any siblings. My parents were into like Bee Gees and Carpenters and stuff like
who
that.
are
Yeah.
both amazing.
Yeah.
Which
Like,
honestly,
yeah.
yeah.
We love both.
So we
those
got good
Yeah.
senses of melodies, but not like and some Beatles and stuff, but not like rock records in the
Right.
like, hard,
Yeah.
But my babysitter was like Van Halen,
Yeah,
or
exactly.
like
Right.
Yeah.
or when you talk about Duran Duran and
Yeah.
all that, U2,
Yeah.
very important.
I had a
band.
babysitter until
Yeah.
fourth grade in New Jersey, so that's where
Yeah,
all
by the
that
way,
came
That's
James
awesome.
and I grew up an hour from each other, didn't know each other.
Yeah,
till we met in
exactly.
Okay,
Atlanta.
that's insane. That's
We're-
crazy.
I love it.
That's
Yeah.
meant to
We're
be.
little
Cheers
kids.
to that. All right.
Cheers.
You know.
Oh, we do a lot of cheersing on the show,
Yeah,
by the
we
way,
do a lot of
Anna. It's wonderful.
I've obviously picked up on
Yeah.
that. And,
By the way, I'm keeping
you know.
Anna.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll come home with.
I told
Or
you.
I'll
I
stay
told
here
you.
on my back porch.
I wish I saw her more. Yeah.
I mean, you can
So-
like go back to your own place, and I'll just like
Thank you. Yeah.
like take care
So
of you.
James,
You
so
can-
James kind
we
of
can
hinted at this
FaceTime.
earlier. James kind of hinted at this earlier.
Yeah.
And that's okay. This is what makes it's going to be a very special interview, and anyone who's inside on the joke will talk about it. You know, but Ronnie
Yeah,
Wood
Yeah.
was obviously like your guy.
that's my man.
Like,
well,
yeah.
he didn't know that.
Yeah, so
That's
tell-
fine.
so-
I heard a story about that because the Rolling Stones are coming, right?
Yes.
Next
They're-
Thursday.
Oh, they are?
Yeah, but
Oh.
we're
On the 11th.
Yeah, we're going.
And you were very specifically had to be on the Ron
Wrong
Wood
Wood
side.
side. I hope
Oh,
I really
wow.
am.
So
What
you
if I
could get
find
as-
out it's the wrong
as
side?
close-
No.
I'll be in-
No,
I'll be
but I
in-
love
I'll be
Pete.
I'll
so
be in
obviously,
New Orleans
yeah.
on Thursday, but I'll be
Ooh,
texting
yeah,
you. You know,
text me. Well, if it
yeah, I can't
happens,
wait to
I'm
see it.
fingers crossed.
I think it's happening, and
Okay.
they're sounding great, and they're
Keep
doing
Are
reading.
you going to see him in New Orleans?
Now I got some
You just gotta
business
go to New
in
Orleans.
New Mexico and
Uh-oh, that
Austin,
sounded
Texas, and New Orleans.
kind of cool
I'm
and
gonna go on the road
sketchy
for a
and
minute.
Yeah.
cool.
Cool and sketchy.
Big fan
Yeah,
of that
like
stuff.
that.
But the thing is they're doing I think a 10-minute opening dedicated to Charlie, which is wonderful.
Yes, okay.
No, I've been following the tour. It looks
Cool.
wonderful.
I saw that
Yeah.
in the beginning, but yeah.
It looks beautiful.
Again, trying not to watch anything or, just fingers
Just
crossed it's going to
come
happen.
in
I
Yeah.
think that's so
fresh.
smart of you,
No
even the way you
expectations.
approached
Yeah.
this interview.
Yeah, same
it's like,
thing.
listen, you're like, no, let's just be four friends hanging out.
Yeah. I mean, I'm ready
Which
to
is what
watch
we
all
want.
the back
Exactly.
issues after this, but I just
Yeah,
wanted
no,
to show
it's
up.
the best. And
Yeah, no.
Yeah. Just,
I was about to say cheers to that, but I'm going to wait a minute.
yeah, maybe we'll wait 1 second. No, I'm just
Well,
kidding.
we were talking about. Okay, like, so full disclosure is we started half of this and then realized that we had some technical difficulties. So
Yes,
we're
so we
doing
have
it over
already
again.
talked
so
about it.
Pretty
It
cool.
actually is
What you guys
David
missed is
Lynch.
insane. Tony, what's up, dude? Hey, everybody, I want to give a shout out
Cheers.
to Tony,
Hello.
aka Casey Yarbrough and his beautiful
Oh,
wife,
yeah.
Allison.
Allie.
Thank you
Thank
for
you.
executive
I appreciate it.
producing.
Yes.
Behonkus, D, love you guys.
Thank you.
No, we have so much fun. And the whole idea of the show is no edits.
Yeah.
Well, close.
Well, unless we start
Unless
over.
there's no sound.
That's fine.
We have so much fun.
But we were talking about who everybody's guy was.
Who your
and you were
go-to was,
Very like Ronnie Wood.
Yeah.
I don't know if we got to.
My guy?
I don't know.
Well,
if we
so
got to
actually,
your guy.
I was
Well,
about to
we
say who my
went-
guy was.
We were about to say.
Oh, okay.
I was about to say
We
who
were
my
going
guy
this
was.
way, but
I was
I'll
about to
come
say who
back
my guy
around,
was.
yeah.
All right, how do I say? So I was about to say who my guy was when James looked at me. He goes, "We need to do this." But
Okay.
actually, I'm going to say who my guy isn't. But it's not an insult at all. I guess I learned my favorite songs are when Rod Stewart's doing backing vocals.
So Ronnie Lane.
like
Ronnie
Debris,
Lane's your
like
guy.
Debris makes me cry.
Yeah,
like
that's-
if I was the Allman Brothers, I'd be pissed. I never wrote Debris.
Yeah, Debris
like it
is-
really is. That song haunts me in my dreams.
Yeah.
Makes me cry. Gives me braille,
so
arm
beautiful.
hairs up,
Yep.
and I sing
Agreed.
it all the time.
Yeah.
Like
So,
you know.
wait, so Ronnie Lane sings "You're So Rude." That's the.
So that's Ronnie Lane, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The
That-
one that
'cause
you're, because
we're-
that's my jam.
that is my
so
jam.
in the,
Yes.
That's
and in the first
Fist,
in the
fist, yeah.
first attempt at this episode,
Yes.
we did talk about how
Yes, You're So-
I
You're
love-
So Rude,
I
which
love
we're gonna
that song
blast
too,
after this,
because
yeah.
it is, and like anybody that hasn't heard this album needs
Do
to.
yourself a
because
favor.
The song is so. I mean, it's so fun.
Yeah.
I mean, also
Yes.
like musically, like just the way it sounds.
Yeah.
It's like such.
Right.
Like,
That's
such a
what did it for
So-
me was
so-
the,
so
just
think about-
the
But then
music,
the
but then the lyrics
lyrics are
too.
so
So think
cute.
about
You're
so
just
think
like-
about his original his lead vocals in Debris. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Sure.
And then think of Rod Stewart. And he goes,
just comes
"I'm
in.
in love with her."
Yeah.
Like
They
it
match
is so
together
beautiful.
so well.
Right.
And that song
Yeah.
would be nothing without Rod Stewart's backing vocals.
Sure.
Yeah.
Without his backing
Yeah.
vocals.
Well,
And I think-
he kicks it up a notch.
And the
It
first
really-
time,
it really- it's
I think
unbelievable.
The
You're
first
right.
time we attempted this episode, I said that because we were talking about. Oh, I think we were talking about my guy.
Yeah.
And I was saying that like when the album was
My
first.
guy.
My
Well,
guy.
who's your guy?
Well, the first guy. The first.
She didn't know.
When the album was first picked, I knew like I was familiar with the Rod Stewart.
Sure.
I was
Yes.
familiar with the Rod Stewart songs.
Stay with
Yeah.
me. Stay with me.
Stay with
This
me, of
album
course,
came
yeah.
Which is
out-
wonderful.
This album came out about a year before I was born.
Yeah.
So growing, like when you're really, really little, obviously, Stay With Me was
Huge.
a huge hit.
Yeah.
Huge.
So it was all over the place.
I can
Yeah,
totally
It's
picture
obviously
your
something-
mom, who I'm friends with,
Yeah.
dancing to this song.
I mean,
Oh,
like, you
amazing.
I love that.
Stay with me. Yes. Yes.
Nice.
I mean, so I was familiar with those. I expected those to be my favorite
Yeah.
because I wasn't familiar
Yes.
with the full album.
Yeah.
But when I listened to the full
Right.
album, I
You're like,
realized
huh.
that the ones that Ronnie Lane and Ronnie Wood, like the songs that they wrote, like
Yeah.
those I like. And I don't know if it was because they were new, they were fresh. It wasn't so
Sure.
much nostalgia,
Yeah.
or if it was.
But
I think
sometimes
it's
that can go the
We
other
love
way
surprises,
if you don't
though.
really like it.
Let's
You're
not
just like,
forget it,
what?
Yeah.
But
you know.
Yeah,
because
but
they're
this
so
time
awesome.
But this time it
Yeah,
turned
you-
out like I really think that my favorite. So I would probably say Ronnie Wood because I also do love the Stones.
yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
His guitar playing. I mean, Ron Wood's guitar playing all over this.
That's the whole reason
and everything
why
is
flipped out.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like, I
It's
mean,
It's just like
He's insane.
I
Yeah.
don't think he ever plays. I always listen to the arrangements.
Yeah.
And it's always like Ron Wood is just like noodling and
He's
just
a
doing
Well, and the
all
thing
these
is he's
great
doing
things.
melody lines with
He's
the
a
vocals on this so
Yeah.
much that
You know
you'll
what
be
he-
like,
you know,
He's
wow.
singing
When he
over
put out
with his
when-
guitar.
Yes,
When he
which
put
I
out a solo
love,
album, when he
love
put
that.
out a solo album, it's called "This Is My Solo Album."
Yeah, this
Right.
is,
And it's
I've got
based
my
on
own
the-
album
and
to
it's
do.
based on
My
the
own
Stones
album
or his
to
backup
do.
band. It might as well
Right.
be a Stones album
Yeah.
with him right now. It's like, there's my solo album.
Yeah.
Stones are my
That's
backup
pretty
band.
badass.
It's very badass.
He's a
It is
badass.
insane.
I
Like,
love the man.
I don't know if we covered. I'm sorry. I don't know if we covered this on this one, but you were talking about. I don't know if we covered in this attempt at this episode.
Yeah.
But like you're talking about how Ronnie Wood really about you as a musician, you as a guitarist, like what
Yeah.
pushed you.
Yeah.
And I think that you were
Yes.
talking about like Ronnie Wood,
Yeah.
Faces and stuff.
Well, it's
really
also
being-
just, because, so to go back, the babysitter.
yes.
He would bring Stones albums over, so I did get all of the different Stones guitar players, as you know. So Mick Taylor, Brian
Love-
Jones. I mean,
love
like,
it, love it.
obviously Mick Taylor was like, the other guy
Primera.
in
yeah.
terms of just the guitar sound.
phenomenal,
You know what I mean? Not in
phenomenal,
terms of, but the Ronnie Wood stuff with the Stones, Tattoo You and actually Black and Blue and just this kind of like, it's almost like, I don't know, music, Asian music or something that the kind of like melody lines and then intertwining with Keith Richards,
Yeah.
so of whom I already worshipped. So worship's an annoying word, but you know what I'm
but you
saying.
know,
Yeah, but you can. So
No, I know what you're
those
saying.
types of the
Yeah.
melodic
no, and it's also the
intertwinings,
perfect,
and then this he
it's
does
also
with
perfect
the
amount
vocals.
Perfect amount of
Yeah.
dirty.
Yeah, it's,
Like-
but then you
like-
get the crunch.
You know what I mean? I used to
brings the
joke around
crunch. He
saying.
brings the
I used
crunch,
to
yeah.
joke around saying, and I know there are so many other great bands too, but I used to joke around saying, 20 years ago that the Stones were like in many ways one of the first punk bands because they were the first of the Scumbags. And I don't know if that's okay to say that, but I
Yeah.
also think, well, the Faces of the New York Dolls are in that
Same thing,
in that
yeah.
area.
And they didn't care what
I
you
mean
thought.
by it is the way they lived, no apologies, no
Yeah.
holds barred, and just filthy, just
Yeah.
dirt.
Hey, Matt,
Sound,
Matt, can you
presentation.
get, just a few more PBRs in case you run out.
Ooh.
You're the best.
Matt is the best.
Thanks, Matt.
Matthew.
Thank you, Matt.
Well, yeah, they're talking about because I want to show I want you to show the insert
Yeah.
of the box set that you have because
Yeah,
This
because
is-
we all have the $5
Right.
version.
Yes,
Just to
that
say,
doesn't have that
We have
because-
this.
I
So-
bought this at Book
This.
Nook, I think.
I don't
in
know.
$5 and
whatever,
Look, I got you.
1995.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
So the album originally
Yes.
for like the first I think it was like 3 weeks into like it they pulled all the ones with this insert because the insert has like a lot of like groupies and pharmaceuticals and they're just I mean they're a party band.
Yes.
So you
Thank you,
have
Matt.
the insert because
Appreciate
the
you.
box set that you have. Thank you so much, Matt.
Thank you, sir. Very kind.
Because the box set that you have,
Yes.
which is amazing.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's amazing.
all
Of course,
there.
I dropped
Hand
it,
me
but
that.
yeah,
All
it's
right.
friggin' amazing. So this does come the way
With
that
the
it was
insert.
before, which you would have had this and it got
Oh, look how
lifted
shiny it is.
because it was too scandalous, as you were saying.
Yeah.
That was one
Well, I'm
episode
interested
ago.
to know because some of the pictures of the groupies that when you opened it the
There's
first
some
time.
butts.
Yeah, there's some butts.
There's
Yeah,
Simply
but some
some
of them
butts.
have like
They blocked them out.
blocked out things. So I'm interested in
Yeah.
whether or not it was blocked
It's-
out in the original.
Hey, what's-
Because they were a party
hey,
band.
hey,
and
what's-
it was
It's
the
hey,
70s,
SFW. It's
so-
not NSFW, but
Yes.
it's SFW.
Hey, what's
Yes,
wrong with
good
being
point.
what's wrong with being
What's wrong with being sexy?
Yeah, what's wrong with being sexy?
What's wrong with being
Nice,
sexy?
nice
Come
one.
on.
Oh, you gotta have some
We have so
some
much
tap.
fun. We
I
have so much
love
fun
that they were
on
a
this.
party band. And,
Yeah.
but it does make me kind of wonder whether or not these originally didn't have things blocked out.
I would think maybe they did.
No, I
but
think
don't
I
know.
think they wanted it, and the record company said,
You're like, come on,
no,
Black
guys.
tape,
No,
yeah.
no, I mean,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah,
it did,
come
it
on.
did come
That
out.
makes
It
sense.
came out.
I know I'm being too
This
prudish.
is
With the
being sold in
original-
Woolworths. Come on.
with the
Exactly. Yeah.
Come
you're
on,
right.
guys.
It came out with the original album, and then 3 weeks later they pulled it, and all the after pressings didn't. But then they put this in. But I'm interested in whether or not, I'm interested in whether or not there was actually like black boxes covering
You need to,
like
you need to
Right.
frame
the
that.
dirty bits.
and-
I
It's
know.
so beautiful.
I'll show
Put
you
it
dirty
for the
bits.
camera, I guess. If you can see this, they recreated it in a larger.
And the
one.
box set.
So the
you were
box
saying
set
came
has
with
two.
both of these.
Yeah, they wanted to be true to what the album originally when it came out
Yeah,
was
I love
like.
it.
So it's that size,
That's so
and then
cool.
they made a bigger
actually,
one.
I got
Makes me want
I got
that
a
box
question.
set.
Yeah, it's
so,
pretty awesome.
I certainly mentioned Debris, and
Yeah.
it is a song
Put that
that
sucker in
pleasantly
there.
haunts me in my dreams. You know,
Yes.
what and it's so difficult to say, but
Yeah.
like, what is the song? Like,
Your
well,
song.
you know,
I mean, You're So Rude,
You're So
I
Rude,
think.
okay.
Well, Stay
You're
With
So
Me, of course,
Rude.
from the radio and all that, but You're So Rude, the way it starts with the piano.
it's gorgeous.
The guitar, as soon as it hits, I was like, oh, I want to sound like that. I want to be whatever that guitar
wanna
is.
be that
I just want to
musician.
be a guitar
Yeah.
right now. I don't care
Wow, yeah.
what that means.
So,
you know.
so
It's that sound,
So not
and
only
it's
Ronnie Wood,
Tony Zamatis, is that how you say his name? The guitar that was made for him. It's like a triple pickup.
Yeah.
So that's why I think it's got that, because you look up, you're like, how does Ron Wood get that sound? I think it's just amps and guitars,
So not only
and that's
Ronnie
the
Wood,
guitar.
not only Ronnie Wood, but
Yeah.
that song has had a tremendous influence
For sure.
as a
and then,
guitarist.
but then the
It's
whole
amazing.
entire
You're So
album,
Rude.
and also the other one is Too Bad.
Too Bad was going to be
Yeah.
my favorite.
Yeah, so
You know what?
Fiverr. Sam.
Yeah, so yes.
She's coming home with you. She's coming home with you.
Well, let's go.
You're So
Let's go listen to the
Rude,
album.
I would say, and then Too Bad because
Bad, yeah.
like and I didn't because it's that breakdown, right? Where
Yeah.
It's just like
Oh yeah, all we wanted to do was to socialize. Yes, that's the one.
That sounded pretty
Yeah.
good. And you guys
It's
just
true.
you
You guys
guys
were-
just formed a
You guys
made a
were doing a
chord.
nice little harmony there.
You guys
yeah.
just made a
I
harmony. there.
mean, that one. Yeah, and also just don't you feel that way when you're excited, you're out at the bar and you're being
Yeah.
loud and you
I
want to
can
hear
tell you-
rock and it's
I can tell you so
everybody
many
stopped
times
playing.
There's
All I
been
wanna
times
do-
like
and you're like,
that.
all I want to do is just like
Yeah.
listen to this, hang
Yep.
out with my friends, and I want to be loud and
There's been
annoying.
there's been
and
times
then the
I've been
bartenders are annoyed
in
and so you feel
places
bad,
where I've
but
heard
you know what I
that,
mean.
and I'm like, let everything stop.
Yeah.
Stop and
Yeah.
stand still.
It's like, do you
Stop
guys
and
hear
stand
this?
still. You know.
Yeah, it's the do you guys hear this?
It's like I just feel
Are you guys
like
not feeling the
there's
arm
something-
hairs? The arm
there's
hairs like I
something
am.
so and I hope this carries on to like generations that weren't alive like when this came out, but
Yeah.
like just the sound of it, just the feel of this album is so my child like it feels so 70s, like
Yeah.
it feels like
Yeah.
the warm
Yeah,
shag
totally.
carpet of my grandmother's
They
very
house.
warm
really,
album.
you're right.
It is.
I kind of like what I like about
Warm
this
and
album.
filthy is what I like to
that's
say.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I love about Face's albums is that
Yeah.
they're so diverse.
Yeah.
Like, and that's why I wanted to know which album you picked,
Yeah.
because I look at this is a game I always play. Is if you could listen to one band for
Yeah.
the rest of your life, only one band,
Yeah.
what band would that be?
So difficult.
I mean, that's
I
one of
think
those
about
things
it.
I can never answer, but they
Oh, wait, don't
certainly
answer
would
it because
be.
maybe that can be
The reason is because I think it's the Faces.
Well, I was going to say these
Wow.
would that would definitely I would not hesitate.
it's
you
on that
have
list.
so
It
many
did it,
great.
it did everything.
Yeah.
They did everything,
Yeah.
and it's so diverse. And
And
you
you
got
get different singers.
You get different singers. You
Yeah.
got all their albums are this kind of
You're absolutely right.
in a way kind of a hodgepodge.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like you have rockers, you have sentimental songs,
Yep.
Yeah.
and they're,
So it's
and they're
like-
so fun.
And we-
Yeah,
and
so
one
it's
of
like
these
it
it
are
runs,
so
runs
much
the
fun.
gamut. Like you get so much, like different sounds rather than like a lot of like some albums, some artists. Like it's like the whole thing. I mean, even though the songs sound different, like it's still such a particular feeling.
Yeah.
Where this is so
This
much.
takes
But
you on
that's
a
what I like
ride,
about.
yeah.
I almost listen to the Faces as not really an album by album by album. I just listen to all of
Yeah.
them
Yeah.
because I look at it as like it's a
You're
band that
absolutely right.
made like 4 albums
Yeah.
You're
plus
absolutely
other
right.
stuff.
Yeah.
But it's amazing.
Yeah, absolutely right.
And together they make this whole body of work.
Yeah.
Well, because we talk about this.
That's
We
great.
talk about
Yep.
this often on the show when we describe a record. It's like, oh my God, this is a perfect record.
Yeah.
But I know this about all of us is
Yeah.
we actually hate perfect.
Yeah.
I love when Marvin Gaye's voice cracks and
Yeah.
he's been up for 4
That's a
days.
good point,
And
yeah.
you know, so
It's
like
a perfect
when,
band.
Yes,
Is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So when you
Not the
listen to
perfect
like
record.
Yeah.
you know their hits, not their hits, their that whole collection, 5 guys walking to a bar.
Yeah.
whatever,
Yeah, yeah.
And you hear them cover Paul McCartney doing a Maybe
Yeah.
I'm Amazed.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
like,
Like
what's
this is
happening
horrible
here?
and amazing.
Exactly.
Like you know,
No,
like
it's-
it's perfect.
it's
So
perfect.
Yeah.
it's perfect with its imperfections. Like why I love when Otis Redding's voice cracks.
Yeah.
You know, and so
And it's so much fun. It's like
that's so much
we're
fun.
gonna put a live version of a Wings song.
Yeah.
That's it.
That was like
That is-
popular at that moment.
Yeah.
It's just like
Yeah. Yeah.
screw you.
So-
like
Yeah.
this is what I want to put on my
So
record.
you guys run for
Yeah.
you guys
Yeah.
run for 3 days, and
Nobody
you're
else
like, we
can
need one
do
more
that.
song. We're
love
covering
it.
Mecca. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? And
So-
that is awesome.
What
You know
That
what I
is
mean?
awesome.
You know.
That's
What is your
perfect.
person though? Because I don't think you said your person.
It's Ronnie Lane.
It
Yeah,
is
big,
Ronnie
big
Lane,
time.
Ronnie Lane is the other. They're neck and neck. I'm
It
not
really
gonna
is.
lie, but
I
know.
think it's and I think people who haven't listened to Ronnie Lane's solo albums
yeah,
Yeah,
which are
so-
incredible.
is I really recommend it
Yes.
because he makes albums that are beautiful
Yes.
and
Gorgeous, like
touching,
dreamlike,
and
Yeah,
amazing.
he turns
and when you think
your
about
heartstrings or your stomach gets kind
man,
of butterflies.
he gets me.
I know what I'm
Ronnie Lane
doing
is
tonight.
my
This is
guy.
always Ronnie Lane album.
We think about Ooh La La.
Ooh La La,
Ooh La La
exactly.
is their best. Is the song they're known for
I
forever.
was telling Dee
Yeah.
this earlier. Ooh La La might be top 7 songs ever written,
It's
hands
one of
down.
the best
Like,
songs
ever
I've
written.
ever heard in my
It's
life.
Ronnie Lane,
Yeah.
and it's not obviously it's not on
And
this
it's not
album.
on this album, yeah.
You know, it's on Ooh La La.
I mean, I picked this for my what
This
gets
is their
me
most
going in
solid
terms of
album,
my
like
guitar
I'd say.
playing, you know. But as
He's
far
also,
as
this
like
feels like a
emotionally,
documented
You
piece of
could've
art.
picked- you
I
could've
could have
picked
picked
Yeah.
Ooh La La.
Yeah.
I could.
I'm
but-
glad you picked this.
But I picked this because
I'm glad you picked this.
honestly, the things that I get the most excited about, just like it just depends on what
think-
the motivation is. If
I
it's
think it's
just for
the-
guitar,
I think it's their most
You know,
like
this-
I think it's the most cohesive.
Well, that's Glenn-
cohesive
that's
is
Glenn
the right word.
Johns.
Yeah.
It feels like it
that's
feels
because
like
I had
it
him
feels like
producing.
a like a piece
so
of art
they
that's
got
just
the
there.
Glenn
you know?
Johns like
Yeah.
touch,
Yeah.
as opposed to just letting it go ramshackle.
But
so
I love the ramshackleness
Me
of the
too.
band.
Me
Me
Like,
too. But I
Yeah.
think
I
he
look at them
captures
as-
it well, though.
And this changes genres, but when you think about like a band like Sebado,
Yeah.
and I know this has nothing to do with
No,
faces,
no,
but like
I get it.
I think about a band like that where it's also different band members are bringing in different songs, and
Yeah.
the band can
But
change
also,
from song to
I
song.
could
but
see
it's
a
all
band like
beautiful.
that. I could see a band like Sabado having the faces as an influence. So
They probably have influenced
very
so
cool.
many
Oh my
people that
God.
we
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that we
So
don't
we
know.
got 5.
Have influenced so many
Yeah.
bands. Like
Yeah.
you just know it. But also like because I think I said in our first attempt, but I am going to say that this didn't. Because I do want to say that the reason that this album and the Faces in general probably aren't as well known commercially as you would think with all the members that went on to be in other well-known bands is because like Rod Stewart had already done so much solo stuff.
Yeah.
And Maggie
He
May came out a
eclipses
few months.
everything.
Like
I get
Maggie
it.
May
Yeah.
is like one of his.
Yeah, in
like,
terms of
best-known
mainstream,
songs.
you're gonna just know
Rod Stewart was
for
Rod
sure.
Stewart was busking, singing with like blues dudes in the
Yep.
streets at 14 years old.
Yep.
Yeah.
Singing with the Jeff Beck group.
But he
doing
does
this
have like such
you know.
a like whatever
But
you
he
think
hadn't
of
done
him
the
as
solo
a person,
thing
No.
yet.
whatever
Yeah.
you think of him as a person, he does have like it's such a memorable voice.
Incredulous
Yeah.
talent. Are
Yeah.
you kidding
Such
me?
a moving voice.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just.
I mean, I think people can skip and just go to like later stuff that they don't like or whatever. But
Well, I was going to say earlier, I think in the first
gotta go
episode,
back
you
to
guys would
this.
never, ever,
Yeah.
ever see
I'm so
is
happy
I'm a
about
huge
this,
fan
'cause
of
this
Young
is-
Turks.
I was
Great
like,
song.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
I texted them because we have like a group text where we're like planning things
Yeah.
for like whatever, and I was just like it's bomb.
Yeah.
Like, this face album was
the
bomb.
thing,
Like, it's
is,
just-
Well,
it goes back to the same.
also, I was going to say, I just don't want to forget the other members because
Right.
we
For
were
sure.
saying that Kenny Jones went on to play with The Who, and that wasn't quite his because you can't
Yeah.
replace
And then
Keith
Hum-
It's
Moon.
an impossible task.
Yeah, just like
And then,
you wouldn't even
and
expect
then
that.
Humble Pie.
But Kenny Jones in this band, best drummer ever.
Perfect.
That's
Perfect
perfect
drummer
them.
for this band.
And then
And he sits back. Sometimes he just like
Yeah.
lets them play.
exactly.
There's so
I
many
like
great
watching
parts where
him
it's
watch
just
them. You know,
it's just like it's silent.
Yeah.
He's
That's
just like
yeah.
I'm
That's
letting
when
them
he's hanging
play.
out with
And
the
they let-
bartender
Yeah,
on
exactly.
stage.
He's going to get another
That's when he's
another
drinking
round.
the bartender
Yeah,
on
he
stage.
goes
Yeah.
back by
Which
this.
is
Exactly.
such an amazing.
Love it.
But he-
That's such an amazing. That's a talent beyond talent. When you're just like, I know I could be making sound right now.
Yeah.
But
Well-
the better thing
Yeah.
is for me to hold.
Well,
Step
we're
back.
talking about great bass players, okay?
Yeah.
And you can say the same about great drummers.
Yeah.
I've always thought, like, like Joe Strummer, a huge fan of you say,
Yes.
a band's only as good as its drummer, and in many ways that's true. But like a great rhythm section, when you notice them? You notice when they're not
When you
there.
don't see
when they're
them.
not
Yeah,
there.
you don't even
like
know
they're
they're
ninjas
there.
and they're brilliant. You're
Exactly.
like, I didn't see him
Yeah.
doing this special. He just did this. Well, when he walks off, you're gonna notice he's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's where
Charlie
the magic.
Watts,
Because
right
it's
there.
a soul. It's
Very
a soul.
much Charlie
Because
Watts.
it's
Yeah,
a
that's-
northern like white
Yeah.
soul band. Like
Yeah.
there's so much going on, you
Yeah.
know. And like, well, I know we're looking at. I gotta look at the time, but. Well, it always comes back to, for me, why we even started the show.
Yeah.
Music is magic, and it gives me chills, and it saved me and changed me and rearranged me a million times. And I love the imperfections in the stuff that we say is perfection.
Yeah.
Like what we talk.
Yeah.
Like this is why we do talk about this stuff. You
Ian
know?
McClagan, though, we have to still talk
Ian,
about him.
that's what I want to say. So Ian
Because
McClagan was
he played
just
with-
as important.
Exactly.
Was so huge.
Yeah, yeah.
Everybody.
Yeah, he played with everybody. Just having his piano, his keyboards, whatever.
I mean,
you know,
and I
it's
think
it's
that's
just
kind of
organ.
adding to the.
It fuses the whole
Did
thing
you ever play
together.
with him?
No,
I think
know that
Brian Malone
met
played with him, yeah.
Shannon met him at Rhino, and
that's
Oh,
like
wow.
what
I'm like, why didn't I get to meet
really
him?
Yeah.
makes it like it's soul, but it's also got like this like almost like
I'm
like
segueing
honky tonk
into our
kind of like
letter,
a lot of
James.
it's got this. Is
Yeah.
that like honky tonk? Would that be kind of like?
It almost has that. I feel like it has that influence. It's just kind of like.
But
It's just perfect
but
rock
It's
and
per-
roll.
it's perfect.
But it is,
really.
but it's because
Yeah.
it does
But
have
yeah.
like some soul and some like honk, and it's
Yeah.
just like, oh yeah, like this just like it makes you.
If you
happy
say you don't
listening to
like
this.
it, I think you might be a
Yeah, I
robot.
think
You
you
might
have
not
a
be human. Like, you know.
What's wrong with you people?
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
is, yeah, it's amazing.
So there's so many wonderful things about this show. One is I want Anna to be a guest every 6 months just so I can hang out with her.
Yes.
I'll do it.
Two is
I'm keeping
spend some
her.
more time.
two
I'll be
is
around.
it's just
be-
so much fun.
You can pull
But
me
you know,
out of
to
the
every
woodwork.
positive, there's a negative. And I hate when things end because I really could go for 5 hours sitting
Yeah.
around talking about this.
We
stuff.
could nerd
But
out
we're- but-
literally all
because
day.
we're, at the end of the day, we're just music nerds who love good things. We hate bad things. We hate. We love
We
love.
might like bad things.
Yeah.
I like
Wait.
some bad stuff.
Well,
Yeah,
we like
really.
we hate negativity.
We like a lot of
Yes.
stuff.
Yeah.
We
but,
hate
but we,
negativity.
we
Yeah,
love rock and
negativity,
roll
yes.
and we love the good stuff.
Yeah.
And so we need to like kind of close down. And it's so funny because every once in a while we let a few fans in on what's happening.
Friends, people
we
like
let
that, yeah.
Sometimes you friends and fans become
Yeah.
And so we let some friends know that Anna will be here. So someone sent a note to Anna.
Yeah, we got a
Okay.
letter, express mail, because
Maddie, we're about to head
Express
out.
mail, does that exist anymore?
the message went out that Anna was going to be on the show. Yes. And so this was a letter that came from M. Poppins from the Bronx.
I love her, man.
She's-
We have such a big
She's
presence
great,
in New
yeah.
York, I guess,
Yeah.
because
She's
of me
great.
living in
They all
Brooklyn.
come
but-
from somewhere
On a
in
rainy
the
day in New York.
in the five boroughs.
M. Poppins, by
Yeah.
the way, has sent me a lot of messed up notes. We'll talk about it later.
Well, M. Poppins
into
was
that.
very excited that Anna Kramer was going to be on the show.
Okay.
And we know
Ash.
you've had a
Poppin
long
should be.
history of playing music, playing in bands, playing
Yes.
at different shows, all like so many varieties of situations musically. And she wanted to know what was your favorite artist that you shared a bill with, maybe not got on the stage together, but at the same time you were like, I'm opening for this
Thank you, Mary
artist.
Poppins.
Nice.
Great
nice Mary
question.
Poppins. Okay. Okay.
Could be Marty. It could be Marty.
But thank you, Marty,
Marty
Poppins.
Poppins.
Could be, it's M. Poppins
Yeah.
from the Bronx.
That's a great
like
question
that.
because I've seen you play with so many different people. But yeah, please let us know.
Well, I would say there would be several. I did do a duet with Charlie Louvin from the Louvin Brothers. That was very exciting.
Nice.
He was
Bucket
a little
list.
fresh-mouthed, but that's
Yeah,
okay.
he's a strange dude who
And,
might be
yeah, he might have been a
borderline
little
racist, but
yeah, he was a
wonderful
little
songs.
racist. So I told my dad not to tell him that he was a Jew, but that's okay.
Yes.
And then we have, R.I.P. But that was amazing. That was definitely a pinnacle. Wanda Jackson.
Nice.
That was
What?
that
Saw her in
probably
New
I
York
kind of
when she
was like,
died.
yeah. She's still here.
But Sarah in New York was she was still alive a few years ago. Yeah.
But she's still alive.
I thought she was dead,
I'm like, oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness.
You're freaking me
You're
out.
like,
And
no,
then Ronnie Spector.
Ronnie Spector.
There we go. Was that the
phenomenal.
Christmas
Saw
show?
her. Saw
It was
her.
at the Earl.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I was there. I was
She
in the audience.
would have loved to have
Sue
met
and I
her,
were
but she
there.
was in her
I know.
car in the back. And,
I think
you
she
didn't want to bug her.
She came.
Yeah.
I'm sure she stepped like 30 feet
It was
into
like,
the
oh,
Earl.
hell
quit
no.
the show, stepped
I'm
30
not.
feet back
Yeah.
to her
That's
car.
amazing.
I would have
got
done
out
that
of
if
it.
I were her.
That's
Come
a
on,
great-
Wanda.
But still,
This is
No,
Ronnie
Ronnie
Spector.
Spector.
Ronnie Spector. Yeah.
at the Earl.
Yeah.
playing the Christmas show.
When
was this?
Tommy
I don't
Ramone
know
from
this
the Ramones. He had
Yeah,
the bluegrass
that's Tommy,
band.
yeah,
That
he's
was
good.
cool.
You played really.
Weezer. That was I didn't know fully know the catalog, but I was like,
But you sang a song.
I did.
You sang
Yeah.
a song. You sang a song with Rivers Cuomo.
These are those things that So
That's so cool.
Yeah, it was very
This is
cool.
awesome.
So
You're awesome. Like I
done
said,
some things.
like I said earlier,
You've
you're
done
awesome.
You've done something. Yeah,
some
okay.
cool stuff.
Anna's done
I do want to
something.
drink a Guinness with Ron Wood, but I'm just throwing it out
Okay,
there.
I'm gonna.
This Thursday, we're gonna make
manifest
that happen.
shit.
So
That's the
I'm a
plan.
big fan of manifesting stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, she's gonna have.
And
she's
then
gonna
we
drink a
also-
Guinness with Ron Wood.
I'm so excited
Gonna
your
have- I
dad's.
can do it in
I'm
my
so
dreams,
excited
it's
your
fine.
dad's a Jew.
Thank
I already loved you.
Thank
There
you.
you go.
Anna
Love you.
Kramer.
I'm so
Oh my
excited.
goodness.
I'm so excited to have met
Thank
Anna
you. Oh my
because I've heard how cool
Legend.
you were, but
Lost-
I've never met
and-
you.
So wait,
and
you're
now,
so
a
the,
badass.
the lost
Thank you,
cause,
Faces.
and then
Thank you, Faces.
the lost cause, and what else?
We
The
changed
Easy
her name
Now.
to Easy Now.
Yes,
Yep.
Anna Kramer and the Easy
Now.
Now. Meaning like
Shanti.
Anna Kramer
Nikki
and
the
the
Phantom Colors.
Easy Now. Nikki.
So you
Nikki's
did-
a good
so
friend of mine.
Three bands.
Three bands, yeah.
Ashanti.
Shanti, Nikki the Phantom Colors, and then Anna Kramer and Easy Now.
Nice.
Awesome, awesome,
Check 'em out.
Thank you.
awesome,
Thank you.
awesome.
Thanks for having me, y'all. You guys.
Thank
rule.
you.
Cheers.
I'll talk
Cheers.
about and talking about the.
I'll talk
Oh my
about that
God.
anytime.
I love you. I'm keeping.
Come on.
Thank you.